Behind Hollywood's golden curtain lay a world darker than any film noir. Moviegoers saw legends on screen, but behind the scenes, those same icons lived double lives, defined by obsession, manipulation, exploitation, and dominance. These aren't just scandals, they're symptoms of a broken system. Let's uncover the truth. Chapter 1. Marlon Brando, the beautiful monster. Brando was raw power and insatiable hunger. He had countless affairs with men, women, co-stars. But behind the passion was cruelty. Rita Moreno described being cheated on, lied to, and pressured into abortion. She attempted suicide in his home. Brando's reaction? He called his agent. In Last Tango in Paris, he and Bertolucci filmed a disturbing scene with Maria Schneider without her full consent. She cried for real. Brando laughed. He seduced to dominate, then discarded those who got close. His toxic influence extended to his children. Christian Brando was convicted of manslaughter. Cheyenne Brando died by suicide. Friends say Marlon emotionally abandoned them. He once admitted, "I was never meant to be a parent." Chapter 2. Kirk Douglas, the leading man with a predator's privilege. To the world, he was Spartacus, but Douglas used intimacy as validation and control. He bragged about conquests in his memoirs, naming Rita Hayworth, Joan Crawford, and others. Insiders say he lured starlets with promises, then abandoned them. In 2021, Lana Wood alleged Douglas assaulted her sister Natalie Wood at 15. The studio buried it. He was never charged. His long marriage was reportedly distant. Chapter 3. Charlie Chaplin, the genius who controlled love like a script. The silent film icon's personal life was a series of power plays. He married 4 times, often to teenagers. He impregnated Lita Gray at 15 and married her to avoid scandal, then tormented her. Mildred Harris was 16. Paulette Goddard was controlled until she rebelled. Una O'Neill was 18. He was 54. Chaplin didn't fall in love, he cast women like roles. His archives reveal an obsession with purity and control. "Young girls are the purest," he once said. They haven't been corrupted yet. Chapter 4. Clark Gable, the king who couldn't love. Gable's image was perfect masculinity. His love life? Cold and transactional. In 1935, he allegedly forced himself on Loretta Young. She later adopted her own daughter to hide the truth. His romances were strategic. Even with Carole Lombard, Hollywood's golden couple, he cheated. Gable preferred vulnerable women. Married 5 times. None lasted. Chapter 5. Errol Flynn, the pirate who prayed. Flynn's charm hid his exploitation. He pursued underage girls, including 15-year-old Beverly Adland. His 1943 trial exposed a pattern: gifts, alcohol, and manipulation. Hollywood spun it as mischief. He isolated lovers on yachts, created dependency, then discarded them. "I enjoyed the chase more than the capture," he wrote. Chapter 6. Alfred Hitchcock, the director of real-life horror. Hitchcock didn't direct women. He controlled them. Tippi Hedren endured harassment, then retaliation. During The Birds, he traumatized her with live birds for days. Grace Kelly rejected his advances, but his obsession with icy blondes fueled his films. His genius was intertwined with cruelty. Chapter 7. Howard Hughes, the collector of captive hearts. Hughes didn't love, he collected. Katharine Hepburn, Ava Gardner, Jean Harlow. Faith DeMorgue was 15 when he signed her. He dictated her life, career, and body. He bugged phones, locked women in mansions, and hoarded them like objects. His genius decayed into paranoia. Chapter 8. Elizabeth Taylor, the goddess of chaos. Taylor's love life was a battlefield. 8 marriages. She stole Eddie Fisher from Debbie Reynolds. Her relationship with Richard Burton was explosive. Public fights, then passionate reunions. She didn't submit. She conquered. Chapter 9. Joan Crawford, the ice queen of control. Crawford married 4 times, each marked by domination. Her affair with Clark Gable was fiery but fueled by power struggles. Whispers of flings with Dietrich and Garbo blurred desire and strategy. Her adopted daughter Christina exposed her cruelty in Mommy Dearest. Chapter 10. Ava Gardner, the woman who broke men. Gardner didn't get broken. She broke men. Mickey Rooney, Artie Shaw, Frank Sinatra. Sinatra chased her obsessively. She let him suffer. "I have the face of a saint," she said, "and the heart of a rebel." Chapter 11. Frank Sinatra, the voice that seduced and destroyed. Sinatra sang of heartbreak while causing it. He stalked Ava Gardner, sobbed over her, even attempted suicide. He married 21-year-old Mia Farrow, then sent divorce papers when she defied him. He demanded devotion, then punished women for giving it. Chapter 12. Judy Garland, the girl they exhausted from a young age. Judy Garland was placed under intense studio control. By 16, she was already facing invasive attention and pressure. MGM used medications to keep her performing. Louis B. Mayer claimed his treatment of her was fatherly, though it often crossed personal boundaries. Garland endured 5 unsuccessful marriages, struggled with addiction, and attempted to take her own life multiple times. She passed away at 47, deeply impacted by the industry that shaped and strained her. Chapter 13. Roman Polanski, the director who fled. In 1977, Roman Polanski was accused of engaging in inappropriate conduct with a minor. Reports indicated he provided her with intoxicants and ignored her discomfort. Though he pled guilty, he left the country before sentencing. Despite the severity of the case, many in Hollywood continued to celebrate his creative work. The young woman involved remained consistent in her testimony throughout the years. Chapter 14. Ingrid Bergman, the icon who challenged conventions. Ingrid Bergman was once held up as a symbol of cinematic grace. That image shattered when she left her husband for director Roberto Rossellini. Her personal choice sparked political outrage in America, with some officials branding her as immoral. Despite the backlash, Bergman eventually returned to the spotlight and reclaimed her status on her own terms. Chapter 15. Jane Mansfield, the starlet in a spotlight too bright. Jane Mansfield was cast into the role of the blonde bombshell, with studios engineering publicity stunts to highlight her image. Her connection to controversial figures drew even more media attention. Though she died tragically young at 34, the real toll was taken by an industry more interested in spectacle than substance. Chapter 16. Montgomery Clift, the shattered star. The leading man lived secretly in an unforgiving era. After a car accident, he spiraled into dependency. Hollywood's gradual downfall, they whispered. He died forgotten at 45. Chapter 17. Bette Davis, the queen who made her own rules. Davis battled studios, defied directors, and commanded respect. She chose relationships on her conditions. Hollywood labeled her stubborn. She was simply unstoppable. Chapter 18. Rock Hudson, the silent tragedy of a manufactured man. Rock Hudson was the perfect man on paper. Privately, he lived in hiding. He was gay in a world of straight facades. He married for image. He feared exposure. Studios monitored every move. He drank. He detached. He imploded. When he contracted AIDS, Hollywood disowned him. His death was a national wake-up call, but not a personal reckoning. He wasn't just sick. He was smothered by silence. Chapter 19. Marilyn Monroe, the dream they destroyed. Hollywood packaged her as the perfect fantasy, but behind the glamour was a woman being eroded. Studio executives coerced her into compromising photos, then held them over her. Powerful men treated her as property. Joe DiMaggio's rage became abusive. Arthur Miller's indifference left her stranded. The Kennedys exploited her, then cut ties. Her death at 36, called an overdose. But the unexplained marks, the lost time, the classified documents, all point to something more sinister. Marilyn wasn't just an icon, she was a casualty. Chapter 20. Rudolph Valentino, the lover who never loved silent film's greatest heartthrob, was a carefully crafted illusion. Studio publicists invented his exotic past, his tragic romances. In truth, he was trapped. Rumored affairs with men buried under NDAs, forced into lavender marriages. His sudden death at 31 sparked mass hysteria. But the real tragedy? He died never having lived as himself. Chapter 21. Jean Tierney, the beauty they threw away. Her face launched 1,000 scripts and 1,000 heartbreaks. Howard Hughes love-bombed her, then vanished. Oleg Cassini married her, then cheated. A fan's German measles infection left her daughter severely disabled. Tierney's guilt fueled a mental collapse. Hollywood discarded her like a used prop. Chapter 22. Tyrone Power, the matinee idol with a secret. Women swooned over his smile. Men envied his charm. But Power lived in terror. His affairs with men like Cesar Romero could have ended his career. Studio bosses forced a marriage to Annabella. He drank himself numb, died mid-sword fight on set at 44. His last words? God, I'm tired. Chapter 23. Vivien Leigh, the Scarlet Who Burnt Out. 2 Oscars, 1 devastating truth. Her mental health was collateral damage. Laurence Olivier exploited her talent, then abandoned her as bipolar episodes worsened. Studios called her uninsurable. She died alone, tuberculosis rotting her lungs, just like Blanche Dubois, the role that broke her. Chapter 24. Orson Welles, the boy genius they broke. Citizen Kane should have been his triumph. Instead, it marked the start of his exile. RKO butchered his films. Rita Hayworth left him after he forced her to cut her iconic hair. He died obese doing wine commercials, a cautionary tale of Hollywood's appetite for destroying talent. Chapter 25. Lana Turner, the sweater girl who survived. Her daughter stabbed her mobster lover to death. The scandal should have ended her, but Turner outlasted them all. 8 marriages, countless affairs, a resilience forged in the tabloid fires. They called me a homewrecker, she said. I was just a woman who refused to beg. Chapter 26. James Dean, the rebel without a future. His death at 24 immortalized him. But the truth? Dean was already crumbling. Studio heads hated his bisexuality. Elia Kazan exploited their affair for East of Eden. His Porsche Spider crash was almost inevitable. He drove like he wanted to disappear. Chapter 27. Greta Garbo, the ghost who walked away. At 36, at the height of fame, she vanished. No scandals, no comebacks. Rumors swirled. Lesbian affairs, Nazi sympathies, studio blackmail. The reality? She saw Hollywood's soul and chose silence over surrender. Chapter 28. John Wayne, the cowboy who wasn't. The ultimate American hero was a carefully constructed lie. He dodged World War II with fake injuries, bullied co-stars, and spewed racist vitriol. His Oscar-winning True Grit role? A desperate attempt to hide his failing health from the public. Chapter 29. Rita Hayworth, the love goddess who hated love. Men fell in love with Gilda, she said, but they woke up with me. Orson Welles stole her earnings. Ali Khan treated her like a trophy. Alzheimer's erased her mind, while Hollywood erased her legacy. Chapter 30. Humphrey Bogart, the tough guy who cried. Bogart's machismo masked a fragile ego. He drunkenly pointed guns at Lauren Bacall, cheated on Mayo Methot, and died of throat cancer, still insisting his 60 cigarette-a-day habit wasn't to blame. Chapter 31. Shirley Temple, the child they stole. Her curls and dimples made millions. Behind the scenes, executives fed her laxatives to stay tiny, forced her to kiss 30-year-old men on screen at age 6. Her mother pocketed the checks while Shirley played pretend. Chapter 32. Cary Grant, the gentleman who wasn't. His charm was a weapon. LSD therapy uncovered repressed trauma. His father institutionalized his mother and told him she was dead. 5 marriages. Rumored affairs with Randolph Scott? The ultimate Hollywood enigma. Chapter 33. Barbara Stanwyck, the Steel Magnolia. She survived the studio system by playing by her own rules. Her affair with Robert Taylor was open, her dominance on set unquestioned. When Hollywood tried to discard her, she reinvented herself on TV. Chapter 34. Paul Newman, the blue-eyed prisoner. His marriage to Joanne Woodward was Hollywood's perfect facade. Truth? He resented being objectified, drowned his rage in racing and vodka. Even his philanthropy couldn't cleanse the industry stains. Final chapter. The system that built them. This wasn't about individual sins, it was about a machine designed to grind up souls. Studio contracts owned bodies. Publicists buried truths. The Hays Code moralized on-screen while monsters ruled off-screen. The stars we lost weren't casualties, they were warnings. Behind the glamour of old Hollywood lay stories of control, controversy, and survival. These stars were not just legends, they were people, shaped and sometimes shattered by the industry that made them icons.